Hi everyone, my name's Chrissy. I'm going to take you through a beginner's yoga session today. We've also got my dog Jackson who may do his own yoga poses, so don't watch me. Make sure you've got with you for today a mat. Also, you will want something that looks like this. So this is a yoga block. You could also use some hardback thick books, encyclopedias, dictionary. The later Harry Potter editions all work really well for that. You might also want a cushion so that you can sit upright and you can elevate your hips a little bit. So we're going to come to a cross-legged position. You might want to put a few pillows underneath if this feels really difficult. You can also come and sit on your shins if that's easier for you. So I want you to close your eyes and think about having a nice, tall, long spine. So imagine that there's a little plumb line going right down from the centre of the head all the way down to the bottom of the spine, and it's just gently pulling you up, making you sit really nice and tall there. Really, really lovely. And it might also just drop the chin down for you as well. So I just want you to take a moment and think about your breath. You don't have to change it, just observing how the breath feels in the body today. If you can, you're breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose. And if you can, now that you're focused on the breath, maybe see if you can take a slightly deeper inhale. So thinking about inhaling, filling the belly, filling the side of the ribs, filling the chest. So we've got this three-dimensional breath all around the torso. And then exhale, we soften, let it go. So again, inhale, thinking about filling up like a big balloon in the belly, moving through the ribs, through the back, through the chest. Exhale, let it go. So continue with this breathing. This breathing is really important. This is more important than any of the postures that we do during the yoga classes. We always want to make sure that we are prioritising our breath. Now we're going to come into some gentle movement. So staying with that nice long tall spine, we're just going to drop our head down to one side. So drop ear to shoulder. I'm feeling a stretch through the opposite side of the neck there. So this feels very intense for me. So just go as far as feels comfortable for you. And then slowly we're going to take it to the other side. And keep breathing here. You might like to visualise breathing into any areas of tightness. And then come back up to centre. We're going to place one hand on the floor, keep both sitting bones, both bum cheeks on the ground, and then we're going to lift up and stretch over to one side. Big, big stretch, opening through the side of the body. Maybe you'd like to look up at the top hand. Take a few nourishing breaths here. And then we'll move over to the other side. So planting the other hand down, keeping both bum cheeks on the floor, gazing up at that top hand. We're really trying to keep the body open here, so try to avoid bringing the hand down. You really want to keep it nice and open. Let's take that a few more times, just flowing side to side. Feeling that lovely opening through the side of the body. Stay with your breath. Last time. Beautiful. Come back to centre. Interlace your hands, or just bring them together if that hurts to interlace the hands. And we're just going to very gently push the hands away from us. So pushing the hands out in front. And then we're going to make a little capital C shape with the body. So just rounding the shoulders, pressing the belly back towards the spine. So you're sort of looking like that from the side. Dropping the head to the chest a little bit. This feels really nice through the back, through the trap. the shoulders, and then when you're ready, we're going to lift up and stretch the arms overhead. Maybe take a little gaze upwards. Really lovely. And then bring the hands out behind you. Interlace the hands again, or just hold them together so they're interlaced behind you. And then we're stretching them away from us. So from the side, looking like that. So we're opening up through the front of the shoulders, maybe a little bit into the neck there. Let's try that one more time. So we're going to round into the body, that capital C shape, pressing the hands away, dropping chin to chest. Inhale, lifting the arms up, really stretch towards the sky. And then exhale, interlace the hands behind you, opening up through the front of the body. Maybe lifting the head a little bit as well. Lovely. Okay. Release out the hands. We're just going to move a little bit into the wrists. So we do a little bit of wrist work when we go to downward facing dog. So just clasp the hands together, and we're just going to wiggle the hands around, just sort of in this figure of 8 position. And then if you've got the brain capacity today, you can do it the other way as well, although I find that really, really difficult and a little bit weird. So just see how that feels for you. Just sort of working into the wrists. Really nice. Very good, very good. Just give them a little flick, a little shake. Great. And then we're going to come over to a tabletop position. So tabletop position, we're thinking about shoulders over wrists and hips over knees. Gently pull the belly in towards the spine. So you're quite active in this pose, so you're not just hanging out. So you're gently pressing the hands into the floor, gently pushing the tops of the feet into the floor, and then gently gathering the belly towards the spine. So we're going to move through our cat and cow. Here we're going to drop the belly slightly. You don't have to really sort of overarch it. It's just a very gentle dip, and then we're squeezing the shoulders together. Lifting the heart, lifting the head. And then we're rounding down, dropping chin towards the chest, pressing the hands actively into the earth. And then let's try that again. Inhale, lifting heart, lifting head, dropping belly. Exhale, lower chin to the chest, pressing the hands into the floor. And try a few more of these in your own time. So you might like to go a little bit slower than I'm going. You might like to take a few different kind of wiggles to the side. Whatever feels good for you. And then come to the end of your last cycle, no rush. And then come back to that neutral spine. So we're just going to sit back for a moment. And you've got an option here. You can just sit back onto your shins, onto your heels if that feels good. If you'd like to go a little bit further with me, we're going to come into a tucked toe pose. So you're going to tuck the toes underneath you and then sit back on your tucked toes. Oh my goodness, it's very, very intense, but it's really, really good for us. We don't tend to stretch the toes, well, at all, but we definitely don't tend to stretch them in this way very often. So it's a really nice pose to do. Really intense. If you need a bit of support, you can always just come out, wiggle the toes and come back in. You can also bring your props underneath the knees. That will just alleviate a little bit of the weight. If you want to stay in it and you just want to be distracted, you could maybe take some head rolls side to side. Just as a little mini distraction. Well done, you're almost there. We're going to take 2 more breaths here together. So inhale, exhale. Last one, inhale, exhale. Now the trick is not to rush out of it. So we're going to come out really slow. Well done, everyone. Really, really good. Untuck the toes. And then we're just going to tap the feet out. So bringing the blood back into the toes. Lovely. Really well done. Don't worry, Jackson. And then what we're going to do from here is we're going to come back into that tabletop position, that neutral position, and we're going to begin to walk the hands forward into our puppy pose, our melting heart pose. So dropping the chest down towards the earth. It doesn't have to reach, but if it does reach, you can just rest the forehead onto the mat. So we're keeping the hips nice and high, stretching out through the shoulders, through the upper back. Take one more breath here. And then when you're ready, very slowly, very carefully, come back to your tabletop position. And then we're going to move into our downward facing dog. So into your tabletop, maybe you want to spread the hands a little bit wider if that feels more stable for you. Tucking the toes under just like we did before, lifting the hips into the sky, and then pressing back into your downward facing dog. Now, downward facing dog, you don't have to straighten the legs. Don't worry. If you need to have a nice deep bend in the legs, so you can get a stretch in the back, that's fine. We're going to pad out through the feet, so stretching one leg, bending into the other knee, and then taking it to the other side. So just padding out the feet, really gently, no rush. We're not on a stepper at the gym, we're not running for the bus. We can take our time here. We're really getting into the calf muscles. Really, really lovely. A few more like that. And then come to find stillness on your mat for a moment here. So think about your alignment. So if you need to, if it feels too much, just pop the knees down for a moment. That's absolutely fine. You could even come into sort of a little child's pose here as well with tucked toes. So don't feel like you have to hold it for ages. We're going to begin to walk our feet towards the top of the mat. So take some nice small steps and bring the feet towards the hands. We're going to take the feet hip width distance apart. And we're going to take a nice soft bend in the knees. So really, really dropping the chest onto the knees and then really letting the head go, letting the head hang heavy. And then you've got options here. You can either rest the arms on the floor, or you can grab hold of opposite elbows and come into your ragdoll. So maybe you sway side to side here. Maybe you stay absolutely still. See what feels nice for you. If you feel a little bit dizzy, you can always come back to the floor at any time, have a little rest. And then everyone drop your hands to the floor, release the grip of the elbows. And we're going to roll up to standing. Now, if you begin to feel faint or dizzy at any point during this, I want you to just stop. I want you to just sit back on the floor, take a rest, come up when you want. What I'd like you to do is bring your hands to your thighs, first of all. Squeeze the belly in towards the spine again, and then begin to roll up, pressing the hands into the thighs. Maybe take a little pause here if you need to, just a little moment, just take a little breath. And then carry on. Head is the last thing to come up. All the way up to standing. Lovely, really, really nice. And then we're going to take a nice big shoulder opening stretch here. So bring the arms up and then let them stretch all the way down. Cactus the arms in. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Lovely. So we are going to go from sitting to standing, or kind of seated poses to standing poses a couple of times. So if you do ever feel faint, make sure you're near a wall, make sure you're near a chair. Just take a rest. There's no winners of yoga. If you need to have a rest, just have a rest. So we are going to do another little standing, moving around pose. So if it doesn't feel good, you can just do half of this basically. So grab hold of one of your wrists, and then we're going to stretch to the side, keeping the feet hip width distance apart as they were. Now, if you get any dizziness or lightheadedness, here is fine. If you are feeling good, you can begin to just bend the legs and come all the way around. Drop the head all the way around, nice and slowly, and then come all the way up through the other side. This is such a lovely pose, lovely stretch to do. If you've been sat at a chair all day, you haven't been very active, it's really, really nice. Swap to the other side. Again, here is just lovely, that's fine. Or go all the way around. Slowly, slowly, slowly. The slower you do it, the more of a stretch you're going to feel. Beautiful, great work everyone, really, really nice. Lovely, just give the shoulders a little shake. Brilliant, okay. So, what we're going to do from here is we're going to move through to our high crescent lunge. So what I want you to do is take your right leg back, as far back as it will go. You can use a wall or sofa if you need to. And then we're bending into that front leg. So make sure that front leg is nice and bent, and we want a right angle here. So we're not looking to press the knee too far forward, keeping it at that lovely right angle. And then we're thinking about pulling everything in. So we've got that lovely kind of binding round the tummy, nice and pulled in. And then we're lifting the arms, energy through the fingertips, all the way up to the ceiling. Take some nice deep breaths here. Maybe think about your alignment of your hips. Maybe think about left hip back, right hip forward. And if you're feeling really, really wobbly, it might be because you're on this kind of tightrope and you want to make the feet a little bit wider, so you want to pop them on train tracks instead. Then when you're ready, we're going to move into Warrior Two. So we're going to split the room in half, plant the back heel down, keep that lovely bend in that front leg, arms are out parallel to the side, and then we're rooting down through the edge of that back foot. So everything's really strong, strong, strong. Nice deep bend in that front leg. Keep actively pressing down through the outer edge of that back foot. And make sure that your knee isn't falling inwards. Make sure it's really pushing out so that it's tracking over the little toe of the front leg. And then keep the legs exactly as they are. You might be feeling a little burn now. Flip the front palm and then lift, lift, lift into your peaceful warrior. So legs stay exactly the same. So still that nice deep bend in your front thigh. Oh goodness, lovely little burn there. Maybe gazing up at the hand, maybe gazing down at the back foot, whatever feels more comfortable for the neck. And then we're going to come back to our Warrior Two. We're going to take a big step towards the top of the mat, maybe using the wall to help us. Woo, really, really good. Give yourselves a little shake, and we're going to do that all on the other side. So keep the right foot grounded. We're taking the left foot all the way back now. Big, big step into our high crescent lunge, so on the tippy toes of the back foot, bringing those arms nice and carefully into the sky. And now think about your legs, your feet alignment. So what I was saying about a tightrope is basically you end up putting one foot in front of the other, and then you've not really got any stability. Whereas what you can do instead is you can take it nice and wide, and then you've got loads of stability, nice stable base there. Sorry, Jackson, did I kick you? I'm so sorry. And then we're thinking about pulling the belly towards the spine again. Maybe we bend the back knee a little bit so we've got a little bit more length in the tailbone. That's completely up to you, whatever feels better for you. Nice deep bend in that front leg. Think about relaxing the shoulders, maybe taking the arms a little bit wider apart if that feels better for you. And then Warrior Two on the other side. So splitting the room in half, setting the back heel down, nice deep bend through that front leg. Arms come out parallel to the side of the body. Stay on this side. I'm just going to turn around so I can show you from the front. So thinking about that lovely alignment here, so opening up the legs, the muscles of the legs wrap around the outside, and then we're thinking about that heel to arch alignment, so thinking about the heel lining up with the arch of that foot, and then the knees tracking over the little toe of that front leg. So many things to remember. And then we're gazing over that front middle finger of that front hand. Take one more breath here. And then when you're ready, legs stay as they are. We flip the front palm, we lift up and we reverse into our peaceful warrior. So normally what tends to happen is we bring the arm up and the leg goes all the way up. So make sure you're deepening down into that bend in that knee. Take a few deep nourishing breaths here, feeling into the side of the body. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back to our Warrior Two, and we're going to take a big step towards the top of the mat, or alternatively, you can take a few little steps to come back in. Really nicely done, well done. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to come into a balancing pose, tree pose. So this you can do either side, so just plant one foot on the floor, maybe just test the waters a little bit, see how it feels to balance on one leg. And then you've got lots of options with tree pose. So we're going to open the knee towards the side. Now you can, if you like, just keep the foot here. So this is obviously a good pose if you're feeling really wobbly. so you can stay here. It's absolutely fine. You might like to lift your foot onto the calf. You can also bring your foot right into the inner thigh, but to be honest, it's nothing special. I think, putting it onto the calf, that's plenty. That's really, really good. Maybe bring the hands to heart center if that feels okay. You can also hold onto a wall if you need a little bit of extra support. If you want a bit of help with staying balanced, squeeze the belly in, squeeze the bum, look in front of you at a single point of focus, something that's not moving. So really, really focus on that point. Think about being nice and tall. And keep breathing. Really, really important to keep breathing here. Try and relax the shoulders a little bit. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, very slowly bring the knee in. Drop the leg down. Take a little step out. Shake out the legs. And we're going to go on the other side. So grounding down on the opposite leg. Opening up through the knee. And then you've got those options. So we've got the option to bring the foot all the way into the thigh, or we can also drop it down to the floor, or we can be in the middle on the calf. It's completely up to you. Bring the hands into heart center. And breathe here. So breathing, as I mentioned earlier, it's an integral part of the practice. We want to keep breathing above all things. So if you come to a place and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't really breathe here, like it feels so intense, I'm just not able to breathe properly, that's normally a sign that we just need to ease off a little bit so that we can really focus on our breath. Squeeze the bum, squeeze the belly, gaze at that single point of focus on the opposite side of the room. Take one more breath, and then when you're ready, bring the knee in and give the legs a little shake out. Lovely, really, really nice. Great work, everyone. So we're going to come back down to the floor now. So you can come down to the floor however you like. I'll take you through a vinyasa, but if that doesn't work for you, then just get down to the floor however you like. So coming back to the top of the mat, we're going to take the arms all the way up above us to gather the energy up into the hands. You can gaze up at the hands if you want. And then we're coming forward into a forward fold. So you're keeping the weight nice and forward. Take a nice little bend in the knees. Bring the hands through the centre of the body. And then drop the hands to the floor and just take a really nice big bend of the knees until the hands touch the floor. And drop the head down. Inhale. We're going to come to a halfway lift. So halfway lift, you can keep the fingertips on the floor if your flexibility allows. But what's probably better is planting the hands onto the shins, or if that doesn't work, you can also plant the hands onto the thighs as well. So we're just giving ourselves the spine a little bit of help so that we can stretch it out nice and long. And thinking about keeping the heart forward and the shoulders back. Bend the knees again, plant the hands down, and we're going to take it back to a plank. So bear with me, step it back to a plank. If you need to put the knees down, put the knees down immediately. If you can hold plank for a couple of seconds, brilliant, amazing. If you can hold half plank for a couple of seconds, amazing too. So just do what feels good for you. We're going to take one more breath here. Well done, everyone. Inhale. Exhale. Everyone drop the knees down. And then we're just going to move into a cat and a cow. So drop the belly down. Squeeze the shoulders together. Lift the heart. Lift the head. And then exhale, round down. Drop the chin towards the chest. Press the hands into the earth. And then we're going to tuck the toes once more. Move back into a downward facing dog. So think about your alignment in your downward facing dog now. You'll be a little bit warmer. So really think about pressing down through the hands, in particular the index finger and the thumb. So there's a little extra squeeze there, and that will just alleviate any tension in the wrists. So it just might help if you have a little bit of wrist pain. Remember, you don't need to straighten out the legs. The priority here is the back, nice long spine. Lovely. And then when you're ready, everyone drop the knees down. Sit down onto your bottoms, and then we will swing the legs forward. We're going to come into a nice forward fold. Love a nice forward fold. So forward fold, what you can do is you can place a pillow or rolled up blanket under here, and that will help just give you a little bit more support through the back. It will just allow you to release the back a little bit more. If not, you can just bend the knees. That can feel quite nice as well. We're going to inhale, take the arms above, and exhale, we're just going to forward fold just to wherever feels good, wherever we kind of land really. So hands can be down by your side, they can be on the thighs, you can reach the toes maybe, depending on what your flexibility allows. And then once you're there, take another little mini lift. So inhale, and then exhale, forward fold once more. So really lengthening over the legs, and just be wherever you need to be. So it might be that you're all the way up here and this is kind of where you are. That's absolutely fine. It's all about feeling something in the body. So as long as you can feel maybe something a little bit in the glutes, something a little bit maybe in the legs, or maybe even a nice little stretch in the lower back, that's perfect. You don't need to worry about what the pose looks like at all. So we're going to take another 4 breaths here. So really think about deepening the breath with every inhale and exhale. You might like to go a little bit deeper if you can. Last one. And then when you're ready, come all the way back to seated. Really, really nice. We're going to finally come down onto our back. So again, come down onto your back. Maybe you roll onto the side and then roll onto your back if that feels better for you. If you'd like to, if you want a bit more juice, you can come down with me. We're going to do some core activation work. So we're going to roll down really, really slowly. Keep the belly pulled in. Nice and slow, nice and slow, nice and slow, nice and slow. And all the way down. Really, really good, everyone. Well done. Okay, so we're just going to take a little squeeze the knees towards the body, maybe a little rock side to side. Lovely work. Maybe a little circle round both ways, and then we're going to take an easy supine twist. So what I want you to do is drop the feet down, shift your hips a little bit to the left, and then just let your knees fall over to the right hand side. So this is quite a free pose, so you can really adjust it to what feels good for you. So you might need to take the legs further away, you might want to take them further up, you could cross the legs, you can have the arms open, you can have the arms hanging over the leg, you can have them cactus if you don't have as much room. Loads of different options, loads of agency. And then we'll move over to the other side. So shifting the hips over to the right and letting your knees fall over to the left. And again, make any adjustments that are necessary to you. And then when you're ready, back to centre. You've got a few options here again. You can either place the hands behind the knees and you can rock and roll up to a seated position like this, or you can roll onto your side and move up. Maybe if you want something a bit more gentle. We're going to come to an easy seated position again, so either cross-legged or sat on your shins. It's called easy cross-legged, by the way. I'm not saying it's easy. I know it's actually very, very difficult for lots of people, so apologies for saying that. That is the term of the pose. Can you believe it? So sitting up nice and tall wherever you are. It could even be on your bed or on a chair. And just take a few more breaths here, thinking about any energetic shifts, any mental shifts, any physical shifts, making sure those shoulders nice and relaxed. And take a moment to appreciate yourself, take a moment to appreciate the fact that you've taken some time out of your busy week to do this really, really important work, to move your body, to move your mind. And thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you.